Welcome to the Today in History channel. In today's video we will talk about the day, May 14, 1948, Proclamation of the State of Israel. On May 14, 1948, at the Tel Aviv Museum, David Ben-Gurion, the then leader of the Jewish community in the country, announced the creation of the State of Israel. The statement said, "This right is the natural right of the Jews to own their own destinies, just like all other nations, in their own sovereign state." It was the first modern Jewish state, and its birth put an end to the British colonial government over Palestine, as proclaimed by the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The day after its creation, the new country was attacked by Egypt, Syria, Lebanon, and Jordan. During a year and 3 months of fighting, Israel was expanding the territory that the United Nations had granted it. Non-Jewish residents fled Israel's borders and land that had been appropriated, and became the first Palestinian refugees. Hundreds of thousands of Arabs fled to neighboring countries, in what they would call Nakba, catastrophe. The idea of creating a Jewish state dates back to the 19th century. A small Jewish population had lived in Palestine since centuries before, despite the ban imposed by the Roman Empire. In 1897, the Austro-Hungarian journalist and writer Theodor Herzl founded the Zionist movement, joining forces and promoting the creation of a Jewish nation. Great Britain became involved with Palestine during the First World War, when it was still part of the Ottoman Empire, which supported Germany. Britain promised the Arabs the independence of their territories if they were to turn against the Ottomans, although it also promised land to the Jews. After the First World War, Britain ruled the Palestinian territories, making promises to Jews and Palestinians about control of the land. In 1917, the British Balfour Declaration promised a Jewish nation in Palestine. The feeling of horror that the Nazi Holocaust had generated strengthened worldwide support for the creation of a Jewish state, and so, in November 1947, the United Nations proposed to divide British territories into a Jewish and an Arab state. But the Arab states present at the United Nations Assembly rejected the proposal, a decision that left the Palestinians, who had no direct representation in the body, without a nation in the Middle East. In 1995, an important agreement was signed between Yitzhak Rabin, Prime Minister of Israel, and Yasser Arafat, leader of Palestine. The agreement gave Palestinians control of the West Bank, a conflicting piece of land between Israel and Jordan. Since the 1948 attacks on the new state of Israel, there have been 3 wars between Israel and its Arab neighbors, and the conflict in the Middle East remains involved in terrorist actions and ethnic disputes. Did you like the video? In the description you will find the blog link with the full article. Give an incentive by subscribing to the channel, liking, commenting, and sharing with your friends. Hugs. Until the next.